Oh, what's up, guys? How's it going? We got big stuff tonight. Big stuff. Big stuff. Multiple fairly large announcements. One big announcement, I think, personally. One smaller announcement, but should be fun. What's up, iPhone Mo? Welcome. How's it going? How's it going? Hold on one second. I'm just getting everything. I had to share my Instagram. I always forget to post on Instagram, though it's probably one of the better places for me to actually post this out too. But yeah, we got some cool stuff happening tonight. I feel like I had a plan for tonight, and then all of a sudden that plan changed. And now I don't know. We got a lot to talk about. I'm not sure how much of it I'm gonna fit in, but holy crap, a ton of stuff happened this week. What's up, Mr. Dragon Shiz? What's going on, guys? What is up? What is up? SDC, congratulations. I don't know what I did. What did I do? Probably for the big announcement. Yeah, before we talk about the big announcement, because I'm gonna let some more people get in here before we get talking about anything crazy. I found something cool, and I think you guys will find it cool too. It's called Pokédoku, and I've been doing it the last few days, and I realize how much I suck at recalling Pokemon like memories from my brain. So Pokédoku is basically Sudoku, but with Pokemon. I actually think it's pretty awesome, and it's kind of like, well, there's different versions. There's one that you can just play constantly, and there's one that you play every day, sort of like a Wordle or whatever on Twitter. So I want to try this with you guys today. We'll play some Pokédoku. We'll wait for some people to get in here, and then we'll talk about some of the announcements. All right, so basically, it's a 3x3 grid, so there's 9 spaces. You'll get things like types and different conditions. Like this one looks like it's evolved by an item or a stone. And then you have to find Pokemon that match the different, kind of like Sudoku. You got to find numbers that match. You got to find Pokemon that match. So let's play. Okay, I freaking suck at this. I'm going to try not to look at you guys, but, you guys can post things in chat as well. So for this first square, for instance, we need to find a Pokemon that is bug poison, which shouldn't be too hard, right? Because bug and poison kind of go together. And then water poison, and then Hisui poison, and then psychic bug, psychic water, psychic Hisui. And some of these are super annoying because there's only one option. There were a couple that I did. I was like, what Pokemon? And then you look it up and it's like, oh, there's only actually one Pokemon that fits this square, and I was never going to think of it. What's up, Boondock Games? How's it going? So let's see here. Okay, so the evolved by item I feel like should work pretty well. So this is Vaporeon, obviously. Let's use Vaporeon here. A bug Pokemon that evolves by item. A bug Pokemon that evolves by an item. What would that be? Because there's grass Pokemon, there's lightning Pokemon, because there's Thunderstone, there's fire Pokemon with the Firestone, bug Pokemon. Unless it was like a duo. I'm trying to think of other items too, because isn't there there's like the trade items where you had to give Pokemon an item and then you had to trade them and then they would evolve. But a bug Pokemon that evolves by item. Charge-a-Bug. Does Charge-a-Bug evolve into... Does that require a trade? I feel like I had... What's up, Crawdad? How's it going? Welcome. I feel like I had Vikavolt in that game, and I didn't have any friends when that game came out. Okay, so wait. It would be Vikavolt, I think. So, Vikavolt. Let's try Vikavolt. Really? Did you just have to give it an item? Or maybe it was a Thunderstone? Was it a Thunderstone? Maybe it was a stone. Alright. So Hisui. Which one? What's up, Cheval? How's it going? which one is Hisui? Is Hisui Hisuian? That means that is the open world game, right? The Hisuian. So a Hisuian Pokemon that evolves via stone. I'm trying to think of. So my favorite Hisuian Pokemon is probably Hisuian. See, this is the problem. I can't think of anything. I can't think of shit. So I might have to move on to the other ones. Water Psychic, that should be easy, right? Because is Slowbro Water Psychic or Starmie? It's Water Psychic. I'm such a Gen 1er. I can't think of any other Pokemon outside of Gen 1. I have problems. Isn't Starmie? What's up, E-Unit? Welcome. Yeah, I thought Starmie was. That's my first guess is Starmie, but I don't know if Starmie actually gets the psychic typing. I'm not sure if Starmie did back in the day, but it might in the new games. Okay, it does. All right. Okay. Psychic Hisuian is Hisuian Zoroark psychic type? Or is it like I don't know what Hisuian Zoroark's typing is. Or is it like dark type or something? All right. Oh, man. Hisuian Poison, Hisuian Psychic. The problem is if you get one wrong, it takes away a PP. So, and you can only have so much PP. Right now, we have 69 PP. The PP number. We have 69 PP. If I miss one, then I will lose out. Hisuian Arcanine. Do you still use a stone to evolve Arcanine? I would assume so, right? Or would it be... Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. Bug Psychic. That one should be easy, right? Bug Psychic should be easy. Or Bug Poison should really be easy. Bug Poison. I literally can't think of anything past Gen 1 or Gen 2. There's like the Pokédex, there's a massive fall off in the Pokédex when we go past Gen 1 or Gen 2. Venomoth, Bug Poison. Is Venomoth not flying type? Oh, Psychic Bug. Venomoth isn't flying type. Really? What's up, Taco? Weedle? Is Weedle Bug Poison? All right, we'll try it. Weedle. It sounds right. Oh, man, you guys. What are you doing? All right, we'll try Venomoth with this. iFomo seems very confident. No! No, it wasn't. What's up, Walrus? How's it going? So Venomoth is not Bug Psychic. We'll try Weedle for Bug Poison. We're already out of our Okay, Weedle. We got Weedle. The Hisui Pokemon really throw me off. Never seen this before. Yeah, it's what is it? Pokédoku. No, you're good, iPhone. This is just for fun. It's all good. All right, let's see. Psychic. I know that Butterfree learns Confusion, but I don't think it gets the psychic typing, right? I think Butterfree is flying and Bug probably. It learns Confusion, but I don't think it becomes psychic. Maybe it becomes psychic in later generations though, because I know it doesn't become psychic in the early games. I don't think. I'm pretty sure. Quillfish for water poison? It would make sense. It is a fish full of quills. If you got pricked by it, you might get poisoned. We'll try it. Screw it. Why not? Oh, Hisui Quillfish. Or Quillfish. Okay. Nice. And then we have Hisui Poison. Tentacruel would also work. Oh, yeah, true. For water poison. True. Okay, I'm gonna try and get the bug psychic one. I'm gonna try bug psychic. Let me try and think of all the bug Pokemon. Vivillon? Or is that how you say it? Vivillon? Is that Pokemon psychic? It's very possible that it is some random ass Pokemon that there's only like one of. Bug Psychic. For some reason, the way that Vivillon looks makes me think that it could be Bug Psychic, but it also flies. So it could be Flying Bug, and it could screw me just like Venomoth. The Hisui one. We'll try the other Quillfish version, the Hisui Quill. Ooh, we could probably do Overquill. Let's try Overquill. Okay, we got Overquill. All right, so Quillfish helped us out for 2 of them. Hold on, I have to make sure I didn't close my cat. She's making weird noises. I might have closed her in the bathroom. Hold on. Okay, go. Hello? Where are you? Hey, go. What are you doing? Alright. False alarm. False alarm. Man, my cat makes some weird noises sometimes. I'm just here for the huge announcement. That's why I'm delaying it until later in the stream. No, after we're done with this, I'll do one of the announcements. And then I'll do the next announcement later in the stream. Later in the stream. What's going on, Ray? Thanks for your help the other day, by the way. I appreciate it. Always appreciate your thoughts. Gengar VMAX, blessed by the grace of shining cards and collectibles. Yeah. Dude, ditto. I heard it works for everything. Orbeetle. Orbeetle for Bug Psychic? Let's try it. Why not? That would make sense to me. It would make sense to me. Hey, okay. All right, we're gonna keep playing. No, we didn't get it that time, but we'll keep playing. We just have to find a psychic. Oh, okay. Now that we don't have to worry about PP. I think Zoroark. I think Hisuian Zoroark is psychic type. Is he? No! Frick! Hisui. A Hisuian Pokemon that is psychic type. Hisuian Pokemon that is psychic. I really don't like any of the Hisuian Pokemon, so that none of them stick out in my mind. They're like all horrible apart from Zoroark. Hisuian Pokemon that is psychic type. Hisuian. Not enough PP. Weirdeer. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. You guys are the bomb. Weirdeer. There we go. We got it. We got it. All right, we got it. How's it going, Sconio? We got it. We finally finished it. It didn't take. It took maybe what 2 more after our try. So yeah, you guys can check out Pokédoku. You can do one every day, sort of like Wordle, or you can. There's one that's unlimited, so you can just go through and do them and test your Pokemon knowledge. But yeah, I figure most streams we could just start off with the Pokédoku because I find it kind of fun. Next time I'll kind of make it a little bit bigger so that you guys can see it a little bit better. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, one more thing. I saw this on Twitter, and it made me sad. So now I'm going to show you guys to make you sad. Actually, it kind of made me angry. It kind of made me angry, but also kind of sad. Did you guys see this story? So, context for this clip that I'm about to show. There is a kid, 13 years old, beat Tetris on the NES, I think. Literally got a score so high that it broke the game. Never been done before. First kid ever to beat Tetris. Crazy. 13 years old. And this is what this lady has to say about this amazing gaming achievement.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten.
Just listen to this and try not to get incredibly angry. So the kid literally just beat Tetris.
Well, 13-year-old American
Popping off.
Gibson has technically proven that wrong. He beat the original Nintendo version of the game by reaching such a high level
Crazy.
that the coding froze. That left the program unable to generate any more falling blocks.
This is what she says.
As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal. Speaking of fresh air, let's go.
What? This 13-year-old kid just beat Tetris. How do people still think this way in 2024? We're in 2024 and people still think this way. That gaming achievements are literally nothing. Ugh, so frustrating. Go outside, touch grass. She literally just touched grass, the kid that just beat Tetris at 13 years old. Wild. I was like, man, that's crazy. And then I think later in the broadcast, they were talking about a 16-year-old player who did really well at darts. And she was like amazed by that. But she shit on the Tetris kid. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. What's up, Tanko? How's it going? If you're having fun, you're not living correctly. True. True. Can you send me a 60-inch flat screen so I can see it better? No, sorry. It was more the audio there. You didn't really have to see it. Cold-blooded. Yeah, it was very cold-blooded. That's true. I went to the post office today so I get fresh air. Gotta appeal to the audience that watches the channel, which is older and mostly agree. Yeah, it's annoying. Bought some Pokemon thing the other day. Hell yeah, Tanko. All right. First big announcement. Let's talk about it. I'm excited. You've already seen it. You may not have even known yet, though, that you've already seen it, but you've already seen it. I snuck it in there a couple times. We got merch. Launching my store today with merch. It's one of the big announcements tonight. I'm very excited about it. We're going to have mugs. We're going to have stickers. We're going to have t-shirts. I kind of spoiled you guys with this, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. But I got all of the samples in, and they were all great. So I decided that we would launch it. So I'm very excited that we now have some merch stuff. So right now we just have t-shirts and we have mugs and stickers. And for the stickers, there is a regular version and a hollow version, which is kind of cool. And we also have 3 versions of mugs. We've got the full illustration. So this is my YouTube banner. It's a full illustration all the way across. Nobody send my stuff to Pokemon. I would like to continue to sell that if possible. And then we have this logo. So this logo is actually one that my dad did years ago when I first changed my name over from my old username to the new username. And all of these logos are also going to be on the t-shirts. So then you have the regular JavaAkuma logo. As you can see, I'm wearing the t-shirt right now. This says JavaAkuma in katakana, Japanese, and some kanji and katakana, with the logo. I wanted to do one logo that's not necessarily like, it's not my logo. It's just a cool looking shirt that you could wear, right? So that's kind of what this one is. It's not my logo, but it still conveys the brand in a way that's not like you're wearing YouTuber merch, right? And then the other shirts, obviously, are much more my brand. So you have the the YouTube banner again with my logo, and then you have a larger version of the logo on the left chest. So, yeah. The store should be up. A couple things that I am going to say. It is basically run through a third party. Hopefully, did that show up? Yeah. It's run through a third party site. So I don't have control over things like shipping, stuff like that. I don't know how expensive that's going to be. It's probably going to be really expensive for people not in the US. And it might be a little bit expensive for people in the US. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. And obviously, I like to be completely transparent with you guys. So I'm going to let you guys know exactly how much I'm making off of any of these items, because I think that that's fair. I think for the mugs, let me look. I'll just show you guys quick. Or hold on. Do I accept trades? No. All right, let me... Ah, shoot. Hold on. Let me bring this up. The whole idea with the merch is to help further the actual channel. So get better equipment. I'm looking at wanting to get another camera that's really nice. So having 2 really nice cameras to do videos. And basically the first like bit of money that I make with the merch will go toward that new camera to be used in the videos. And let's see. So the t-shirts I make, let's see, on the 2 t-shirts that have my logo, I make nearly $10 on each, minus whatever the PayPal fee is, because it's connected through PayPal. So I think it's like 3% or 3.5% or something like that. And then for this one, I make $9 a shirt. And then I think it's $7 each for the mugs and nearly $1 on the stickers. So it's nothing insane. I tried to keep the prices reasonable. You know, it's $20 a t-shirt, $25 for the bigger, because it costs more to put a bigger logo on it. And then $15 for the mugs, $4 for the non-hollow sticker, $5 for the hollow sticker. I tried to keep it reasonable in terms of price, but still make me a little bit of money so that I could put it toward things to make the content, you know, the stream better, the videos better, stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, it is available now in the links that I just shared in the chat. You guys can go check that out. How do the shirts fit? So I will say, when I first got them, I was like, oh, they kind of feel a little rough. But then after you wash them once, I felt like they were pretty good. But they are like fairly standard. They're like the Gildan standard cotton shirts. They're not like fit. They're not like athletic fit shirts. You know, they fit nice. They fit fine. As you can see on me, I'm not a great model, but I feel like they fit okay. They didn't shrink too bad after. I feel like they maybe shrank up a little bit after washing, but what size am I wearing? This is an XL. But you're way skinnier than I am, Ray. So you probably go with I don't know, like a medium or a large or something. I'm in underwear size. Okay. Disappointed Chevs isn't the shirt model on the site. Yeah, yeah. Sorry. If I could put a custom person, that would be pretty cool. Or use my own images, but I don't think they allow you to do that. I think they just put it on like a standard model person to do. So, but yeah, that is the first of the big things that I got going on is the merch thing. It's not a huge surprise because those of you who are here, I think last week I mentioned it a little bit. I was waiting, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I was waiting for the things to come in, the different samples and stuff. Oh, if you guys haven't seen the stickers, we got the regular version of the sticker, non-hollow. Then we have the hollow version of the sticker. I think this is really cool. The fact that there's a hollow and a regular, kind of, you know, for a Pokemon channel, it seems pretty awesome. I wish that I could have had a serialized sticker, but you know, or a Cosmos hollow sticker, that would have been cool. But yeah, that's what we're doing. So if you're interested in any of that, hopefully it's all right. And oh my God, Northwoods just reminded me. I have another announcement. God, I got so much crap. Not crap. I got so much stuff happening. Crap is the wrong word because it's all good stuff. It's all amazing stuff that's happening. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, we should just roll to the next announcement. Yo, Ray. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, there should have been an alert for your purchase. I really appreciate that though, man. Thank you very much for grabbing a shirt. Grab the Oni mask illustration. Hell yeah. Thank you very much, Ray. Yeah, there should have been a thing for that. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Well, thanks for stopping in, and I appreciate the purchase, man. All right. I feel scammed. No, don't feel scammed. It's good stuff. All right. So, the other thing. We'll talk about one more thing before we move into our next story. I do have another announcement coming later that I was just reminded by Northwoods. Hopefully it's those things are all tentative, but I am gonna tell you guys because it's really awesome. I got a lot of stuff happening in the next like month and a half, which is really, really cool. Do you ever consider changing your brand name to be more Pokemon or TCG related? No, because I don't want it to be specific to Pokemon. Because if I ever want to get into gaming more, or if Pokemon dies and I have to pivot or something like that, I don't want it to be specific to, or if I want to open like other TCGs or that type of stuff. I like more of like the generic, or not generic, but something that's less specific to a specific brand. Even though the majority of what I do right now is Pokemon, but if any of that crazy stuff ever happened, I would be able to pivot and my name wouldn't have to change or anything, you know. Compartmentalizing your money, that way it feels like something I should do. I can't keep on using rent money to further increase my AR collection. Yeah, that's probably not the best idea, but you know. All right, let's talk about the next thing. This thing probably, I don't know how much you guys will care. I'm pretty excited about it, but we'll talk about it. How's it going, Maki? Welcome. All right, so I talked a little bit a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the new year and changes and different things that I wanted to do. I wanted to play more video games or have more like game nights where I sit and play a video game and I talk to you guys or whatever. You guys are in chat, ask me questions, whatever you want to do. You guys can even hop into Discord, chat with me or whatever while I'm playing the game. Anything like that. I just want to have more like chill time on stream. So Friday and Saturday nights, it's not a for sure thing that I'll be here every Friday and Saturday night, but Friday and Saturday nights will be like the gaming nights. So if I'm feeling up to gaming, those are the nights in which it will happen. Obviously, I'll ping the Discord. I'll share it on Instagram and stuff for when I'm doing stuff like that. But the first game that I want to start playing, which will probably happen tomorrow. How's it going, Pokemon Wonder? Which will probably happen tomorrow. I'm excited about this, because I haven't played it in probably 20 years. Pokemon Yellow version. The OG Pokemon Yellow version. So none of the like remakes or anything like that. We're going to start from the beginning. We're going to play Pokemon Yellow, and then we're going to see after Pokemon Yellow if I'm still feeling like playing Pokemon games. We might play Crystal, and then we might play Emerald, and we'll kind of work our way through like the final or the combination games, like the improved versions of the originals, you know what I'm saying? Like Platinum and then, well, X and Y didn't have one, really. Black and White didn't have one. We'll figure it out when we get there. But that's what I'm thinking so far. So starting tomorrow, if I'm up to it, definitely Saturday, I will be playing through Pokemon Yellow, and that should be a lot of fun. Very excited about that as well. Okay, all right. There is more stuff to talk about. But first, Mason, Cardinal Gaming. How's it going, Pokemon Wonder, by the way? I forgot if I said anything or not. Not first print yellow. I have a Pokemon Yellow version back here. I don't know if it's first print or not, but I've had that for a long time. All right. Mason from Carnal Gaming posted in Discord the other day something that I found kind of fascinating that I want to talk about. Let's talk about something that they did in, it was a poll, sort of a poll, not really, kind of. It was a poll that they did in Japan where this website, GameWith, asked a bunch of people to choose their 3 favorite Pokemon. And then after that, they came up with the results on the top 100-ish Pokemon from over 150,000 votes, which that's a lot of votes. That's a lot of people voting on this. 150,000. I think this was in Oak's Discord, actually. But the way you would do it is you would choose your 3 favorite Pokemon, but it had to be Pokemon from the Scarlet and Violet Pokédex, as far as I can tell. There were some people in the comments that were like, my favorite Pokemon's not in here, or where is X Pokemon, because they couldn't find it in the list. Now, I do feel like, you know, if you're asking people to fill out a survey of everyone's favorite Pokemon vote 2023 Scarlet Violet, it's gonna, you know, I feel like people are gonna lean towards Scarlet and Violet Pokemon because you're asking them to fill out a survey for the Scarlet and Violet Pokedex. Although there are a lot of other Pokemon in here, but the results were interesting, very interesting. Because, you know, to me, I've always worked off of that other poll that I think Pokemon Center did, or the Pokemon website did, where it was like Greninja was number 1, and Umbreon was up there, and Charizard, and some of those other Pokemon were up there. They did that, and I feel like that was a lot of votes as well. But this was, you know, 150,000 people in Japan. Obviously, Japan's tastes are going to be a little bit different, but lots of Pokemon to choose from, and the results were interesting, in my opinion. These are the results. So number 1 was Meowscarada. Number 2 was Fuecoco. Number 3 was Chandelure. Why? Number 4 was Sylveon. You got Tinkaton. So there is obviously some recency bias here with some of the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. And it's a Scarlet and Violet, you know, thing. But then you also have Lucario's up here, obviously, very popular Pokemon. Mimikyu, Gengar, Quagsire, or whatever the hell that thing's called. What? Gardevoir, very popular. I don't even know what this thing is. Umbreon. And then one thing that surprised me was, I mean, Charizard's still up here a ways, so that makes sense. Greninja. Oh, Greninja's here. Okay. So all the Pokemon that you would assume are popular are still in the top half of this list, but they definitely, like, the way that they, I think, approached like advertising the poll was like, this is the Scarlet and Violet poll of what is your favorite Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet Pokedex. So people chose Scarlet and Violet Pokemon, which makes sense, but people also chose the Pokemon that we'd assume are very popular on the English side of things as well. It was kind of interesting because, you know, I think the point that Mason was making was like, hey, all you boomers, like, look, there are tons of people who love the new Scarlet and Violet Pokemon, which there are some cool Scarlet and Violet Pokemon. I'm not going to say that there isn't, but I don't know if I would take this as, like, you know, I don't think Meowscarada is going to stay up here. I think Charizard's going to stay up here. I think that the staying power of these Pokemon, when the next generation starts, is going to be interesting, because the only Sword and Shield Pokemon I see in the first 3 rows is Dragapult. Is the Miracle Whip Pokemon, is that Scarlet and Violet? That might be Scarlet and Violet. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, there's not a lot of Scarlet and Violet Pokemon up here. So it'll be interesting when they do this next year with the new, whatever the new one's going to be, on whether or not any of these Pokemon will stay up here. But I'm sure Lucario, Mimikyu, Gengar, Charizard are definitely going to stay up in this top half of this poll. Alcremie is Sword and Shield. Okay, cool. So they have 2 Sword and Shield Pokemon in the first 3 rows here, which, I mean, that's fine. Or wait, is no, Sprigatito is, yeah. All right. One thing that's interesting, Pikachu is kind of down here. Didn't really think Pikachu would fall below Eevee or some of the other. I don't know. You can't really read too far into it, but it's just interesting to see. It's for sure just interesting to see. So, what's up, Professor Oak? Welcome. How's it going? Slab Podcast. Okay, which one is that? That's got to be Greeny, right? I think Greeny does the Slab Podcast thing. Oak, I'm glad that you were able to... What is my cat doing? I'm glad that you were able to change your name back. That's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, I have found the poll to be interesting. I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna start buying a bunch of Meowscarada cards or Fuecoco cards or Chandelure cards, but I found the poll to be interesting. Very interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the staying power is for these Pokemon staying near the top of the list. We'll see. All right, the next announcement, because we just keep having more and more announcements, and Pokemon Wonder's here, and Northwoods TCG is here, and there's just a lot of stuff going on. So let's talk about this. I actually have to look at all the dates because there's just a lot of stuff. Recent pickups polls. Damn. That's cool. We got some high rollers in Discord. More high rolling than me. So okay, it's Greeny. All right. Let's see. We've got let me check my DMs. Wait, what? Oh, okay. All right. So, I want to make sure I'm not talking out of turn. These are tentative. They're locked in on my end, but you never know when things change. People get sick, all that stuff. So I'm just going to say these are tentative dates for different things that I'm going to be doing over the next month and a half. I'm going to be a busy boy, talking to some people, talking to some great people. I was invited to go on to a few different podcasts. So I'm very excited about that. So we have Northwoods TCG reach out to me to hop on the Choose Your Path series. So that's great. I'm super excited about that. That should be somewhere in February, like the end of February. Right now, I think we have it like around February 20th. I'm not sure if those are live or pre-recorded, but around February 20th, it'll either be live or pre-recorded. So I'll be on the Choose Your Path series, talking to Northwest CCG, which is awesome. Very excited about that. And then Pokemon Wonder, one of my favorite podcasts out right now, as well as the Choose Your Path series, as well as Slab Podcasts, as well as all the other great Pokemon podcasts out there. Pokemon Wonder reached out, and I'm going to be hanging out with him on what looks like February 8th. Tentative, February 8th. Really excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how far back in my past he decides to dig. But definitely looking forward to that conversation as well. And last but not least, Beerski asked me to be on Beer O'Clock. I think that was an Instagram thing. Hold on. I got to make sure I got the date right. Beerski asked me to be on Beer O'Clock, which is going to be the 17th of this month. So we've got the 17th, and then we have early February with Pokemon Wonder, and then we have late February with Choose Your Path with Northwest TCG. So there's going to be a lot of me on podcasts in the next month and a half. I hope you guys are ready for it. It should be a lot of fun. I'm always down to talk Pokemon. I'm very excited for all of these conversations. I think it's gonna be great. What's up, Ogrepon? How's it going? Welcome. What's up, Ace? How's it going? Came to your shop the other day. Got your graded cards. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Did you by chance buy a lot of the graded cards? Because I did get he did give me contact information for somebody. Usually I don't give out my phone number, so if you want to email, I'm not sure if you took a card or not, but if you want to email me or DM me on Instagram or something, that would be perfect. But yeah, I've got a lot of graded stuff. I'm going to be up there on Sunday if you want to come by, I'm gonna have some of my more graded stuff up there as well. So yeah, I'll be up at the shop at 12:30 to 2:30 on Sunday. That's another thing. Another thing, guys. Another thing. Sunday, from here on out, every Sunday from 12:30 to 2:30, I'll be up at the comic book store as like an office hours. So if you have anything that you would want me to look at, if you have any questions for me, if you want to come up and buy stuff, I'm going to be bringing up a lot more graded cards up to the shop. I'm going to be buying stuff. I'm going to have cash available. So if you guys are interested in selling things, I'll be up at the shop in person. If you're local to me and if you're looking to sell or purchase graded cards or whatever, you can follow up with me at the shop from 12:30 to 2:30 for pretty much every Sunday. So breathe, brother. I know. You ever think about doing a call-in live like Old Card Shop and Basic Trainer? Yeah, I've thought about it. The only problem is I would definitely want to screen people. I feel like they talked recently about, I think it was on Old Card Shops, that he had like a troll or somebody, right? That, tried to ruin the show or whatever. I would definitely probably not handle that very well, so I would want to screen people or only bring on people that I knew were going to be like good conversation. I probably wouldn't want to bring on like randoms, if that makes sense. So I probably wouldn't do just like, here's the link, anyone and everyone call in if they want. But yeah. D'Angelo, what's going on? Anyone see Tag Grading Company grade that first edition Charizard in 8? Slabs looking kind of fly. I haven't seen that. No, I haven't seen that. What would you say if that happened to you? I would probably just cut it off and ignore it. But I probably wouldn't feel great about the rest of the live. Like, I probably would cut off taking calls then. Because I would probably be like flustered. And I don't know if I could have like solid conversations going forward, because I don't feel like yeah. I don't feel like I could trust, unless it was, from then on, I was just like, all right, just people that I know, and then bring on people that I know, and from there it would be fine. But yeah, if it was just a random person, that would fluster me to the point of like, either I would probably wouldn't end stream, but I probably wouldn't do calls anymore. Tag grading first edition Charizard. Let's look it up. I don't think I've seen. Let's see. Tag grading first ed Charizard. I personally would never use tag grading, I don't think, unless they became more of like the market share. But I'm not opposed to taking a look at their slabs. Is Tag the... Oh, it's this one, I think, right? Is Tag the grading company that is AI? I always forget. Here's the slab. I kind of actually like this. I like that it's see-through, and it looks like it's probably etched. Is it etched on the slab? That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I personally wouldn't use... Well, because I flip, because I mostly, buy and sell, I have to kind of go with the market leaders in terms of grading card companies to get the most value out of cards. So if Tag for some reason shot up above, like CGC or one of those other companies is like being the next big thing, and people were targeting Tag slabs and everyone was trying them out and they became more popular, then I might try them. But I'm not going to be the pioneer into Tag as a grading company. But I will say, I think the slabs look good. They went with the crystal clear, sort of like CGC. I like kind of the etched looking label. That's interesting that it's translucent or whatever, that you can see through it. But does it come with the fire in the background? I don't think so. You could create it though. Tag slabs looking clean. Lasted like 5 seconds before Josh he switched his screen to porn videos. Ha. That is not cool. That is not cool at all. Not cool at all. Yeah, no problem. I was just looking at it. Just sub to your YouTube channel now. Thanks, John. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you for the sub. It should pop up eventually, but it looks like things are maybe a little delayed. Yeah, thanks for joining. All right. I have a small update to my video that I made recently that got. I'm not making any more videos on that subject, by the way. So if you guys, if all those subs that came from the last couple videos of me talking about the problems with PSA, and you guys are like, oh, this is the new guy who's just gonna shit on PSA all the time, and those are gonna be the videos that are gonna get, you know, this is my guy. I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. I'm still gonna have PSA return videos. I'm still gonna do all that stuff. I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna be operations like normal. I was telling people what happened to me because I like to be nice and transparent about different situations, whether it's by E or PSA or whatever. So, but I'm not the guy. I'm not the shit on PSA guy. I am the honest and clarity and transparency and calling out companies, you know, when shit happens that I feel like is weird or not cool. But it's not going to be a thing. It's not going to continue. That's the last video unless they do something stupid again, which I don't think that they will, because the last update I got was basically the lady just saying, okay. Like, I wrote an email that was like, I hope this doesn't negatively affect me using your services in the future. And then she responded with, nope, I totally understand. It's not going to negatively affect you in the future. Have a nice day. And I was like, okay, cool. All right. So we're just moving on. How's it going, Chef? Welcome. Thanks for liking the stream, John. I appreciate it. Did a great job on the PSA video. I appreciate it. I've been doing a new editing, I guess, a new little editing thing. So I'll probably use that more often. I like kind of switching between different things and making stuff look a little nicer and all that stuff. Yeah, Chef was on Beer O'Clock last night, right? I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but I definitely will. I had so much stuff pop up that I've been wanting to see. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys, I don't know. I think 2024 is going to be a solid year. 2023 was a very solid year. I got to go to my first Collecticon as a vendor. I got to meet a ton of you guys in Charlotte. That was great. I got to hang out. I just got to hang out with people. Like, after Charlotte, this is gonna sound super stupid. So here, where I'm at, I'm pretty solitary. I'm not a hermit. I go out. Like, I talk to people, but for the most part, I spend most of my time at home. You know, I'm a pretty solitary person. I keep to myself. But going to Charlotte and hanging out with everybody and, you know, going out at night to the bar and hanging out with people, going to dinners with people, vending with people, meeting people, talking to people, having that shared connection with Pokemon, that was super cool. So I honestly feel like there was like a post-convention like depression that I had for like a week where I was like, damn, that was so awesome. That's like, I think that's why that same week when I got back, when they announced Card Party, I immediately signed up for it because I was like, I'm definitely going to Card Party. Like, that was the next new one, and I was like so happy with how that weekend went that right when they announced Card Party, I was like, all right, I'm going to Card Party. It's in Florida? All right, let's do it. Like, we're just going to make it happen. So, yeah. So that was super awesome to do that. I actually did a lot of vending. A lot of vending for me last year. I think I did like 3 or 4 shows, 2 or 3 local ones, and then 1 Collecticon. That was super fun. It's always been great. You know, I started at the comic book store last year. That's just been continuing to do well. I think, spoiler alert for a future video, but we hit $2,000 in sales at that small 6-foot table during December. Absolutely insane. Over 1,000 is amazing, but we hit $2,000 in sales in December for one 6-foot tabletop of Pokemon stuff in that store. Like, crazy. So yeah, just it's been really good. Like, eBay was awesome. All the local stuff I've been doing is awesome. You don't go to steakhouses? I don't. I don't. I don't go to steakhouses. That is true. I don't eat out a lot. And yeah, I don't go to steakhouses. I'm sorry. We did have surf and turf for New Year's dinner, and that was pretty awesome. We had lobster tail and steak, and it was good. It was good. My stepdad made it. He did a really good job. It was a pretty fancy dinner for us for New Year's Eve. But yeah, that was solid. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, Beerski, is it Beerski Collects, or is it just Beerski? I forget what is this channel officially called? I think is it just Beerski? It's Beer O'Clock, I think, is the podcast. It's Beerski Collects. It's Beer O'Clock is the podcast, and looks like Chef was on it here a day or two ago. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it myself, but Chef is awesome. I met him in person here locally, and Beerski's awesome. I met him in Charlotte, so I'm sure it was a fantastic conversation. You guys should definitely check that out. But yeah, let's see. What else? Jesus. We covered the podcast. We covered the Pokemon Yellow. We covered the merch. What else? If you guys weren't here for the merch, I'll show you guys again. Just in case you guys weren't around yet. We got merch. We got mugs. We got t-shirts. We got stickers, holo and regular variant. If you guys are interested at all in picking up some merch, definitely check out the merch store. Good stuff going on. You were beside Ray and Charlotte, right? No, I was beside Jake, actually. Jake and another guy on my other side that was friends of Hoot Hoot TCG. But yeah, I was next to Jake. So Jake had like 3 tables, and then I was behind him on the one side. I think I saw you talking to Jake. I was in this weird spot. My table was like the worst place possible. It was literally the worst place possible. I feel like I was basically in like a moving lane where everyone was walking through. Like, that was the walking path. And for some reason, my table was there. I picked like the worst position possible. So I think a lot of people missed my table because it was not in like the normal paths for things. But I was behind Dan and Ponga. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I was directly behind Dan on that opposite side. Yep. But yeah, awesome stuff. Everything looks really good in person. But oh no, it's totally fine, man. Honestly, I had like the worst table placement ever. But I did really good that weekend. I got to move some Oh! All right. Okay, there's a new series happening on the channel. I've been talking about this as well, but I finally sourced the first 4 packs of the series. I'm trying this year, in 2024, I'm trying to open every WotC Japanese pack. And I got the first 4 sets. We got Base through Rocket, Base Jungle Fossil Rocket, and every month or 3 weeks or somewhere in there, I'm going to be posting a video. Wait. What is it? Hold on. Hello? Okay. I'm going to be posting a video, kind of Cool Trainer Ryan style, where I'm going to be opening maybe a little bit of Modern at first, and then I'm going to be opening these what the hell is wrong with you, camera? Is it the Pikas? I can't tell what's going on. But yeah, I have the first 4 packs. How expensive is this endeavor? Too expensive, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. Stay tuned for that. We will see how well I do. It wants the Pikas. I feel like, you know, I can't blame it. I can't blame it. I want the Pikas too. I want the Pikas too. Oh my god, you guys, we have another thing. I swear. We have another thing to talk about. I feel like I'm not going to talk about any actual, like, Pokemon stuff. I feel like I'm just talking about channel stuff. Okay. We have another thing. Where'd you get the hat? What site was it? I don't know. I'm not sure which site it was. I got a Charmander one and a Pikachu one. They're cool. They're cool. But I forgot what the thing was. All right. So this is a little self promo. It's all been self promo so far. I hope you're happy with the fully self promo live stream. So this is a bit self promo. I have started on eBay carrying raw cards. I'm going to be listing raw cards. I'm trying to do like 5 a day. That's like my goal for 2024 is to try and do like 5, post like 5 raw cards every morning. So right now, I'm meeting my goal. We got a bunch of raw cards up here. Trying to do decent pictures, decent prices, stuff like that. Obviously, most everything is best offer. But yeah, a lot of these are going to be like binder copies of cards. So stuff that I've already scanned through to see if I want to grade it. And usually, if it's not getting graded, it's going to go on to here. So if you guys are interested at all in raw cards, definitely follow my eBay, because I'll be posting more of these as we go. Okay. All right. James has my money. Do we have anything else? Trying to think. I don't think so. I'm sure something will pop up. Not that I know of, but I'm sure something will pop up at some point. All right. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about before I bring up the next thing? is there? I think I'm finally done with self-promoting. Is there anything that you want to talk about? Then your eBay card's gradable, though. What do you mean? The raw cards that I'm putting up on my eBay are cards that I've already looked at and determined that I personally wouldn't grade them. So most of them are listed as light play, which I think a lot of them probably fit into the eBay near mint category, but I'm posting them as light play. And if they have like a major issue, like a crease or a bend or some sort of like damage, I'm trying to be really, careful about putting that in photos. I'm using my Fujitsu scanner to take decent scans of the fronts and backs. And yeah, so I would say maybe there could be 1 or 2 that go up that are gradable, but for the most part, I put in the description binder copies, like really good binder copies of this card. I personally wouldn't grade it, but yeah, no problem. I have mapped out how expensive it's going to be to open all of the expensive packs. Okay, so this is my problem. So opening all of Japanese WotC this next year, or this year, the most expensive packs are going to be Versus Series. If I choose to open those are definitely going to be the most expensive packs, are Versus Series. I don't know if I'll open those. I might just stick with main sets. And then after that, I think Neo, whichever one has the Shining sets, and then the E Series sets. Those are going to be the most expensive, I think. The rest of them aren't going to be that bad. I mean, I shouldn't say that bad. They're going to be expensive, but they're not going to be like crazy. Yo Java, you getting a Taipei? I actually looked at Taipei Pikachu promos recently, but they're like $30 a pack, or like $30 a piece right now. I don't think I would buy in at that price. Maybe, but that might be a little much for me. They're kind of like the the Pikachu Arcanine, not Arcanine, Growlithe, Detective Pikachu promo. I feel like that promo's always been like 20 or 30 bucks too, and I just don't know if I would do it. Maybe I'll pick up like a couple, like one to flip and one for myself for a little while, or a couple to flip. But I don't know if I would grab them at this price personally. But I don't know. I don't know how much of them they printed. I don't know how much of them are going to show up, if the prices are going to crash on them, you know, with excess supply hitting the market. I have no idea what's happening, but I like them. They're cute. Typically, in the past, those Pokemon Center promos tend to do pretty well, but I haven't picked any up. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. That is very true. Let's open them all now. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I did get a good price on the base pack. So the Japanese base pack is really bothering me. So Japanese base is like 1 and 2 on whether or not you get a holo. It's not guaranteed. The other packs are guaranteed you're going to get a holo. So the Japanese base pack, I kind of thought, okay, I'll weigh it when it comes in. I got a good price on it. I'll weigh it when it comes in. If it's light, maybe I'll grade it and then buy another one and just do that until I get holos. That might take a long time. I might not ever actually get a heavy pack. I reached out to multiple people selling multiple packs. All of them said, I'm not going to weigh them because that, messes with the integrity of my listing. I was like, okay, that makes sense. I understand that. Good on you for being, honest or whatever. Because I did ask, like, you have like 20 Japanese base packs. Can you weigh one for me and just send me or I'll pay a little bit extra if it's guaranteed, whatever. Nobody wanted to do that. So I was like, all right, I'll just try and get one cheap and then I'll weigh it myself and see what happens. So I watched Rusty. Rusty opened a box and weighed all the packs in it. And they kind of went from, if I remember correctly, it's like 16.3 to like 16.7. Somewhere in there. 16.3 to 16.7 was like the variation of weights. Guess what this weighed in at? 16.5. Literally right in the middle of 16.2, 16.3, and 16.7. So, literally right in the middle. So it probably will have a non-holo. But I think there's a chance at it having a holo. So instead of going through the craziness of grading the pack and then selling it and then trying to get another heavy and then blah, 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 I'm just going to open it and we're going to see what happens. Okay. I think there's a chance at a holo. Who the hell knows? So we're just going to do it and see. 1 in 2, 50% chance. I don't know if that's how probability works, but 1 in 2, hopefully it has a holo. Hope you pull all bangers. I agree. I hope so. I hope we get some good stuff. What did they cost you? So, I'm trying to think. The Japanese base pack, I think, was $260. And then I think the rest of them were like the around like 150, 160-ish, somewhere around there. 150, 160-ish. So $260 for the base pack, and then 150 to like 170-ish for the other ones. I forget exactly the cost of the other ones, but around there. I think with the base pack, as long as we get like a couple starters and they have decent centering, I feel like I'll do decent. I don't expect to make my money back on these packs at all. I'm doing it for the fun, and I'll probably make a little bit back because I do want to grade all the cards from it, from all the packs, since they're going to be pack fresh. I don't know which grading company I want to send to yet. I don't know if I want to try and shoot for... I mean, I guess if the centering's really good, I could try and shoot for pristines at CGC. Or I'm a little wary about sending old back to PSA. I haven't had good experiences with that in the past. And I'm not really sure about BGS, but I'll have to figure that out when the time comes. But yeah, I think that's about what I spent on them. Sorry to leave. The Choose Your Path podcast is going to be live. All right, sweet. So we're going to be live on the 20th. I think that's right. Yeah, Awesome. Very excited. So I think all of them are live then. Beerski's live, Wonder's live, Northwood's live. All right, all 3 live podcasts. We got all the fun stuff going on in the next like month and a half. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Great conversation coming through. How's it going, Dave? By the way, welcome in. Welcome in. Very excited about that. Okay. Do you guys want a kind of spicy topic? Or do you want to watch a video? Do you want a spicy topic or do you want to watch a video? Because, okay, I'll give you guys the actual options. We have a spicy topic or that relates to some CGC stuff. Or we can watch, it looks like, well, Dan made a video about competition in Pokemon business, which I find kind of fascinating because I feel like there's a lot of preconceived notions about how competitive the Pokemon business is. I'm not sure I agree with all of it, so I don't know. But I also don't really know, like, I don't know. I haven't watched the video yet. Obviously, it would be like a first watch. Or Reserved Investments did a Pokemon video recently. I haven't watched Reserved Investments in a while because he is very bearish on Pokemon. Like, he is very anti. Well, I guess this is Pokemon investing though. So maybe, I mean, I would probably be bearish on Pokemon investing as well. But yeah, so this is like 1 a.m. rant, Pokemon investing, responding to a crazed Pokemon investor. I don't know who he's talking about, if it's a YouTuber or not. And then, you know, the truth you need to hear. You know, he's all dramatic. So there is that. Or we could talk about the spicy topic, which would be about the crack and reseal stuff that's happening right now with CGC. That whole thing going on that I've got thoughts about. I've got thoughts about this whole crack and reseal CGC thing at the minute. All 3. Let's do C. Okay, we can talk about the CGC thing. So, how do I want to start this? Should I caveat this at all, or should we just talk about it? Okay. I'm trying to think. Okay, so if you guys haven't heard about this at all, so Pokemon Knowledge, a person who is very anti-CGC, and he admits to such in his video, which I appreciate. He puts his bias on the table and says, "I hate CGC. Let's talk about, you know, their slabs." I get it. Okay, that's good. I appreciate that. It's very honest. He did a thing at the end of his recent live stream where he took I think it's called a heat gun. It looks like a industrial hair dryer basically, but it probably emits a lot more heat than a hair dryer does. And he was trying to show whether or not you could perfectly crack a CGC slab using heat, and whether or not it would damage the slab or any of that stuff, and whether or not then you could crack it perfectly and then reseal it and, you know, swap it out and make a problem basically, which I think that's fine. Like, I don't think there's anything really malicious in that. Like, you're basically like product testing. You're saying, okay, there's potential, obviously, with slabs to fraudulently like swap cards out. We've seen it before. We saw that Zhao guy from China. He was doing this. I think he was cracking PSA stuff and then swapping them out with like worse quality PSA cards. So we've seen this in the past. This has happened in the past. So it makes sense to kind of continue to product test these different slabs and things. So at the end of his live stream, he took out this heat gun and he started testing it on a CGC slab. So the test that we We didn't even really get to see it because it was off screen the whole time, but he blasted this CGC slab with heat. He melted the entire corner of it. He like completely melted the corner of the slab, and then he's like, well, maybe we could make this happen, but obviously I put too much heat on here. Let me come back. Well, I'll be more careful next time. Let me come back and I'll make another video. I'll make a follow-up video on it. After that live happened, there was a lot of conversation about like, man, I wonder if it's possible. He tried it on a CGC slab. Do you think he's going to try it on a PSA slab? Do you think he tried it on a BGS slab? It was an old CGC slab. Do you think he'll try it on a new CGC slab? All that stuff, right? Everyone was talking about it in Discords or whatever. So then I think the next day, the next couple days after, he posts another video. And in this video, he has two already separated slabs. He's got a CGC slab and a PSA slab. He doesn't show at all the actual process with the heat gun in removing the two pieces from each other, right? Which I think is kind of not great, because I would have rather liked to see the process. So have a camera doing like a time lapse of him going around the slab carefully, however long it takes, speed it up 4 or 5 times, 10 times, whatever, and just show the entire process, uncut, start to finish, going around, and then popping that slab and showing how perfect it is after putting the time. Because it would be nice to know, like, how long did it take him to do it? Was it an hour? Was it 2 hours? Was it 10 minutes? Like, that's kind of important to know, because I mean, most people probably aren't going to sit there with 2 hours with a heat gun to try and, you know, crack a slab into 2 pieces, right? So for me, there was a little bit of like, you already have these 2 slabs cracked in whatever way that you did it. So right there, and I don't want to bring bias into this, okay? But he admits to such, and everyone that watches him knows, he hates CGC, okay? And so I'm supposed to I'm just supposed to go on his word, right? That he was able to perfectly crack this slab with no actual video of doing it at all, that it just magically came apart perfectly. And so, you know, I would rather have seen the whole process. If he does a follow-up video, I would really like to see the entire process on how you crack the slab with the heat. I would like to see the process. I would really like to see the process. How's it going, Drew, by the way? How's it going, Ernie, by the way? How's it going, Allman, by the way? Welcome in. Okay, so show me the process, because I want to know how long it takes. I want to know how much heat you're applying. I want to know how much you have to go at it with like a screwdriver to get them apart. I want to know all these things. That's all, like, in my opinion, that's all relevant information. Okay, so we've got a video with already cracked slabs. He did it with a PSA slab, which I respect. Hey, thanks, Ernie. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. I really appreciate that, man. We're gonna get some. I think we're gonna get some. There we go. There we go. iFOMO, welcome. Northwoods, welcome. Eric, welcome. Philip, welcome. Jeffrey, appreciate you guys being here, calling out those lurkers. Thank you very much, Ernie. All right, this gives me time to think about what I'm gonna say next. Because I think it's gonna go 3 more times. Oh my god! Maki! Thank you very, very much, Maki. Thank you. I might have to turn this off. Maki and Ernie, thank you guys very much for the support. That's freaking sick. I really appreciate that. You should turn it off. I don't know if I can. Hold on. Okay, I don't think it's gonna go off anymore. Thank you, Maki. Welcome, Pokemon Wonder, Cheval. Why is it still going off? It's hidden. Hold on. How do I... Hold on. All right. It's fully removed. What? I removed it from the thing. I don't know why this is going off. I don't know why it's going off at all. Okay. I don't know how many more we have, but we'll just let it go. Sorry, I was paid by Nat Turner. No, that's fine. Don't apologize. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. It's okay. Proceed. All right, I'll try and go through. Okay, so I think what I was saying was I wish that we would have seen the entire process. So in the next video, it would be nice to see it from start to finish, the cracking process. I think what I was saying too was I appreciate that the two things were PSA and CDC were both cracked. So it was nice that he also did a PSA one on top of doing the CDC one. That was cool. But then, so the premise of the video, the title of the video is, can you crack and reseal CDC graded Pokemon cards? Correct me if I'm wrong. I definitely could be wrong. I don't think he ever resealed them, right? I mean, he kind of pushed the PSA one together, and it looked like it held kind of, like, well enough. But the CGC one seemed to still come apart pretty easy. So I don't know if we're just supposed to, like, say, like, oh yeah, if you added a little bit of glue, like, on the little pieces here, then you could probably easily put it together. But, like, I want the process, man. Like, I want the beginning to end. This is a problem because look at how easy it is to crack. 10 minutes with the heat gun. Show the entire process. Crack them. And then in the thing, swap the cards out. Be like, all right, look how clean this was on the CGC one. Look how kind of dirty it is on the PSA one because of the clouding and everything that happens. And then at the end, it's like, all right, and here's how I would, seal it back up. You take, little bits of glue on the little, edge pieces, corner pieces, or use the heat gun again to meld it kind of together again, or something. Like the process, but the only, I see what you're saying, Pokemon Wonder, and I was thinking about that too, just when I was talking about this was, well, you don't want to show people exactly how you're doing it, right? So, but the problem that occurs with that, in my mind personally, I met PK in Charlotte. He seems like a really nice guy. I'm not saying anything about him personally. I think he's a great dude. But he has a lot of bias against CGC. So it's hard when a video like that comes out. You have to take him at his word that nothing nefarious was done, even though he vehemently hates the company in which he's trying to expose, but he's also not providing all of the details and information that he used to actually do this thing that he's saying is a problem. So I don't know. My intention is not to call anyone out or anything. I'm just trying to say, like, as a person who understands where his biases are, it's difficult to just take him at his word when he's talking about CGC and different things that he's doing, because I know how much he hates them. He hates them. He didn't even try the other slabs until other people were like, hey, can you do this other slab? Can you do this other slab? Can you do this other slab? And it's like, okay. But, like, yeah. He said in his last live, he would do a complete detail. He said in his next live, he would do incomplete detail. Okay, that'd be good. That'd be good. That's all I'm asking for. I would like to see the entire process, in my opinion. Because if it's true, if it is super easy to crack them in a way that you can't tell, and then super easy to reseal them and swap the cards and the labels, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. And if he uncovered that problem and showed it to the community, it was like, hey, this is a problem, and then CGC went in and made a fix, that's a really positive thing. Like that's a good thing that he's doing. He's pointing out a flaw so that the company can fix it. That's a good thing. But yeah, it would be nice to see the whole process. Concerned it will become that's the tough thing about the situation, right? Is like, for it to be effective, right? You'd either have to take an in-depth video and send it to the company, right? You'd have to do the in-depth video. Maybe you don't make it live, but you send it to CGC and say, look what I just did, man. Like, this is unacceptable. This was way too easy. It took me 5 minutes with a heat gun and then 5 more minutes with a heat gun, and I've got a completely sealed up slab with a completely different card in there. This is messed up. Like, you got to fix this. You don't make it public, or you make it public so that everyone is aware that this is a possibility, a possible thing that people need to look out for in the future. So you're either... It's like, it's weird because you want to do a good thing for the community, which in my opinion, the good thing would be to, but again, like you're saying, if you do from beginning to end all of the details, then you could create more problems going forward, but you're also making people more knowledgeable of it. I don't know. It's tough. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if it happens on the new CGC slab or not. Because I think he used the old CGC slab with like the deep blue label, the very like initial ones, if I recall correctly. I know that Greeny put out a video, and I mean, Greeny tried it, but I think a similar thing happened with PK's first attempt, where he kind of like melted the thing, and then he went in, you know, kind of forcefully with the screwdriver and completely just jacked up the slab. But Greeny was trying it on a new slab, so I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he will. I think a lot of people want to know if it's an actual problem. I think if it is an actual problem, we should know about it. We should definitely know about it. But yeah, I think it's, I don't know. It's difficult. It is a difficult thing, because it's like, do you want to educate all the people so that they can be aware of an issue, or do you want to show people how to create the issue? You know, because you kind of have to do both at the same time. Like, to be fully transparent, to show the process. Yeah, it's definitely a conundrum. It's definitely a conundrum. But yeah, I don't know. I guess those are my thoughts. I don't know. For me, I guess for me personally, I would like to see the whole process. I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I would like to see the whole process, because if I saw the process and it was like 5 minutes with the heat gun, swap out the card, 5 minutes with the heat gun, everything looks perfect, I would be like, holy shit, that is horrible. Like, CGC, get on this immediately, because this is messed up, right? But if it's like 2 hours of meticulously going around the slab with the heat gun to try and not get it to crack, and it took like a super long time, and it was super cumbersome and everything, but it still came out fine, it would be less of an issue for me. I'd be like, who's gonna actually do that? Like, maybe someone with like a really expensive slab, or I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, it's tough to say whether or not it's better or worse to show the whole process or not, but I personally would like to see the whole process. Not I don't even own a heat gun. I don't even know where you would buy one of those. Home Depot or something maybe. No clue. So but yeah, I mean, it would be. You did say it was a spicy take. Well, I think the spicy part of it is like, and I think PK knows this, right? Like PK understands. He even said it in his video, so I'm not saying anything new. That PK has a, and people talk about it all the time with him, that he has a pretty harsh bias towards CGC as a company. He literally said in his video, CGC is the worst company that's ever been a company. He literally said that phrase. They're the worst company to ever exist, CGC. So after that, he did also say that he actually likes the product. He likes the slab. He thinks it's one of the best looking slabs on the market, all that stuff. The company itself is apparently the worst company ever to be a company, period. So, you know, if you acknowledge the bias, it's tough to just take that without detail. Take that without, like, the proof to back it up, I guess, right? So, do we create videos on creating drugs to stop kids from using them? No. But okay, so I guess that wouldn't, to me, that's not necessarily analogous, because it would be like, so for me, it would be like, this is what I don't know, this is what cocaine looks like after it's been laced with fentanyl. Or like, this is how they lace cocaine with fentanyl, and this is what it looks like after the fact. Like, I would want to know that information, I think. Where it's like, this is what it looks like laced with fentanyl, this is what it looks like pure. Because to me, then it's like, okay, that I know is like, it's more like, okay, I understand the process now, I know what it looks like, and now I can avoid that. Where, yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe that's a little bit more analogous than just be like, this is how we make drugs. But I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, that it's a tough one. It is a weird thing to be like, you know, because making that video can hurt and help at the same time. But what's more important, the helping or the hurting? Or does the helping outweigh the hurting? So if you educate more people about, this is what you look for if this has happened, because here I did it from start to finish. Here are all the little things that happened during the process. This is what you should look out for to spot this. But you're showing people that you can make it. Saying people need all the information to develop their own opinion. Yeah. I mean, I kind of think so, but I understand what Wonder is saying, though. I understand what Wonder is saying, though. It is a tough question. It's a tough thing to do. I don't want to be in the. I don't want to make a video like that. I don't know. Have to remember the audience watching. It's not the 99% buying. Yeah. I don't know. I think, like, I'm trying to think of like a different person who has scammed people in the past. Like if Logan Paul made this video, I'd be like, oh, he's teaching people how to scam. Like, this is like, look, if Logan Paul made this video from start to finish and was like, this is how you reseal a CGC slab perfectly. You swap out the cards, you do all that stuff, you scam the people, you know, like, then I would be like, yeah, this dude is definitely teaching people how to scam. He doesn't give a shit about the end consumer. Look at all this other times that he's scammed in the past. But like PK, I think generally PK is a great guy. So like, coming from PK, I don't see it as like, you know, PK is teaching people how to scam. Like, for me, I would say like PK is teaching people how to spot a scam. Like, PK is showing you the process and how to do it, and PK is then showing you the result, and PK is showing you that you can spot this stuff through his own investigation of it. Shiny Vert needs to step on another lamp. Oh boy. Yeah, Shiny Vert. Yeah. That wasn't a great situation. Was it? It might have been your video, Northwoods. I think I hardcore disagreed with you on that situation. But I mean, I'm sure people do. I'm sure. I mean, now we get into the whole like, I don't know. That's the problem. Like, I'm not sure. To iFOMO's question. Don't we trust? I'm not saying that I don't trust PK. I'm just saying that if you apply the bias to the video that he made, it's hard to just like take it as like blind faith. To be like, you know, it's a little bit more difficult when you apply that level of bias. I'm not saying we don't trust PK and what he's doing. I think that he has the best intentions in doing this, but I understand where his bias is. So I like that after the first video, he did the PSA slab as well. I think that was good. You know, hopefully he does a BGS one too. Because at the end of the day, if he figures out that this is legitimately a problem and that CGC needs to fix this in some way, then that's a good thing. Like, that's a good thing overall for the hobby. So, yeah, I mean, I think using a single instance data point to draw major conclusions is quite controversial to begin with when you're dealing with millions of slabs in the market. That's true. Shiny Furt was in bad faith. Yeah, I mean, he intentionally tried to slip something through a company, which I think is just acting in bad faith, basically. As is anyone who's trying to swap cards if this is legit. It's fair and morally correct to assume positive intent with PK. True. But it's also relevant to identify the bias. Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. As Java said, if it's constructive to the company, it's a net positive. Yeah. Unless CGC is secretly the cartel. Does everyone have to spill the sauce? Because I'm trying to get some cheap Japanese product. Man, if you got the sauce, you let me know, all right? You let me know. He committed fraud, but the company put the company on the spot for allowing it. Got mad they banned him. I guess I would expect to get the ban, but it's... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's another tough thing, right? Because, like, should he have been banned? Yes. Did he spotlight an issue? Yes. Was it an overall, like... Can you say that it's an overall positive action or not? I don't know. I don't know. But, like, he absolutely should have been banned. He absolutely did something wrong. The issue probably wouldn't have even occurred unless people... But then we figured out that people can send cards that they cut themselves, and that's a problem. And so CGC needs to fix that. So was it good that he, revealed a flaw? Sure. But he should have been banned for doing that, for sure. So I guess I agree with you, Northwoods. I think iFOMO's point is, without the how-to, if you doubt it, then don't take it at face value. If you trust it, then there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I agree. Pretty much, I don't have time to figure out if it's true. Yeah, I don't have a heat gun. I can't figure it out myself. But yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh. Hopefully that wasn't too spicy. I'm trying not to be, I'm trying not to be I don't, man, I don't know. I don't know. All right, we'll see you later, Northwoods. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in, saying hi. Thanks for hanging out. But yeah, yeah. Just around the right amount of spice. Yeah, and I like this too, because, you know, you guys have a lot of good points, stuff that I have never thought about before. So we're just going back and forth. We're figuring things out together. We're asking the important questions, and it's a good back and forth. It's a good back and forth. All in all, I think it's weird to be so married to the idea of being correct. Probably a... What's up, Jeff? How's it going? All in all, I think it's weird to be so married to the idea of being correct. Probably a natural thing to feel, but letting bias dominate one's life perception is super rough. Yeah, it's tough, you know. It makes it hard to watch content sometimes when I know some of the biases of the people that I watch. So like it's difficult because it's like, wait, you know, like I'm gonna pick on Old Card Shop a little bit, right? He's probably joking for a lot of it, but he doesn't seem like he's joking for a lot of it, so I'm just gonna go with it. And if he is joking, he can let me know. But like in Discord, Old Card Shop shits on Japanese product all the time. Japanese cards suck. English is always better. Like all this stuff. I don't know if that's a joke, if that's like a part of a character or something, or if he's completely serious about that. But he shits on Japanese product all the time. So if I go to Old Card Shop's, you know, channel, and he makes a video about why you shouldn't invest in Japanese product, and the first one is like, you can't read it, and stuff like that. It's like, I'm probably not going to take that very seriously, because I know that what I've seen of Old Card Shop so far, and it could be true, it might be not, but my impression of Old Card Shop, based on what he says, is that he doesn't really like Japanese product. He's got some bias against Japanese product for whatever reason. So it colors the way that I would engage with his content about Japanese product, right? And I think that happens with, you know, most people. Most people have biases. And when you watch someone so much, you start to understand, or if you interact with someone so much, or you watch how they talk in Discord, you start to pick out where those biases are. And then when you watch their content, it starts to kind of influence the way that you see it. So that's all I'm saying with like the PK stuff, is sometimes when PK is talking about CGC, I'm just kind of like, let me go watch, you know, I'll watch his take on CGC, but I know that it's kind of a biased take because he doesn't like CGC, and then I'll go watch a pro-biased take on CGC, and then I'll try and figure out, okay, where do I land somewhere in the middle? Because it's usually somewhere in the middle where I'm landing, because I'm a little bit more warm on CGC, but I'm not like hardcore, like gotta defend everything all the time. So yeah, I assumed you were joking, Michael. That's why I didn't get too into it. Boomer here trying to translate text. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Chef, are you working tonight? This is all good food for thought, can be applied to anything. Yeah, true. I mean, the thing is, like, even if you I mean, I don't know how much more I need to harp on this, but basically, like, if you watch, you know, people who review movies or video games or stuff like that, you might be like, okay, well, this person seems to hate every disaster movie, you know, and I like disaster movies, so maybe I'm not gonna go listen to this person's take on disaster movies because they seem to just hate all of them. Maybe I'm gonna go to, you know, someone who I feel like is more like critical of disaster movies, not just writing them off because they're kind of cheesy or whatever, because I love disaster movies. I'm going to go try and find a reviewer that is more critical, like in a positive and negative way, more kind of in the middle, or maybe someone who likes disaster movies, maybe because that's your thing and you're going to connect with that person more because they like the, you know, it's that whole thing. Everyone has their own biases towards, I hate musicals. Hate them. Any musical. Don't want to see it. Maybe some Disney stuff I like. I still probably think it's kind of cringe. Not a fan of musicals. Anyone who likes musicals is not going to want to hear me talk about musicals. Because I just have a blanket dislike for musicals. I just do not like hearing people sing most of the time. I think it's kind of cringe. So it's just, you know, people who like musicals are not going to want to hear what I have to say about musicals. The fact that the new Joker movie is going to be a musical, well, I'm not going to watch it. I don't like musicals. It's my own bias. So, all right, we got like 30 minutes. So, I hear you saying you have to get out more. I just don't like musicals, all right? Can I just not like musicals? All right, one more time before we end, just in case people are skipping around looking for stuff. Merch. I got merch. I got shirts. I got mugs. I got stickers. It's all cool. It's all awesome. You guys should check them out. If you're interested in a coffee mug or a t-shirt, we got some good stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah. Gotta plug one more time. Okay. Thank you guys very much again for the gifted subs, Ernie and Maki. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Okay, so last but not least, we could watch one of two videos. We have Reserved Investments, rant on Pokemon investing, which, again, I don't really invest in Pokemon product. I'm more of a flipper. So I don't know if this pertains to me all that much because I flip the shit out of it. I don't invest in Pokemon at all, really. So this might not pertain to me so much. Or we have Dan's video in competition in Pokemon business, which this one would probably more pertain to me. But I guess it's up to you guys. Which one do you guys would want to watch? We got Dan's video or we have Reserved Investments video. We've got Reserved Investments or Mr. Dan. It's up to you. Yeah, Sean, he's really funny, but he's both is not an option. I only got 20 minutes until bedtime. Then lights out. I don't know if you guys know this, but at 10 p.m. sharp, I just pass out. No, it's not true, but you know. Reserved. All right. Have to watch Dan on my own time. Let's do Reserved Investments. Let me make sure. 10 p.m. That's early. I get up at like 6 a.m. or between 6 and 7 usually. All right, let's do this. Let me get comfy. Two times speed. I don't think everyone would appreciate 2 times speed. I don't know if I could. You think I could listen to Sean at 2 times speed? I could definitely listen to Dan at 2 times speed. He says the word antiques about 12 times. Is he talking about Pokemon? Are Pokemon considered antiques? All right, let's watch Sean's video. Before every video that I react to, I always give this caveat. If anyone that I react to does not want me reacting to their videos in future live streams, please let me know, and I will put you on some sort of list that I would not react to your videos in the future, okay? So I know that some people really don't like reaction videos. Some people really don't like, Card Economist, really don't like when people react to their videos. This is Reserved Investments YouTube channel video called 1 a.m. rant, Pokemon investing, directly responding to a crazed Pokemon collector and investor. If you guys haven't watched the video already on his channel, you should go over there, watch it again a second time, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button like I'm about to do right now. I just hit the thumbs up button. If you guys, if you guys didn't hear it, I'm sorry, but I hit the thumbs up button. What's up, Soup? Welcome in. All right, let's watch reserved investments. 1 a.m. rant. Let me make sure I got my. I can't even see my audio because my cat's like literally sitting on my near the mixer. What are you doing, cat? I know you're gonna. You looked like you were gonna bite me. That stop. Okay. I can't see it. Mika, get down. Go. You either need to lay down or get down. Look out. Oh yeah, you should also like my stream as well. If you haven't already. What's up, Boondock? I think I already said hi. Have you been here the whole time? I think you've been here the whole time. When I used to work at Target, I used to say hi to people like 3 times, and they'd be like, "You already said hi to me, bro." I'm like, "I'm sorry." All right, here we go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Reserved Investments. And this question that I'm
Audio seems good, I feel like.
in this video comes from my 16,000 subscriber Q&A series.
16,000. GG.
I want to answer this one head on so you all understand my position on this particular speculative market. Now, for the record, I do love Pokemon.
Right there, agree 100%. To be honest, I don't even like to use the word investing in Pokemon in the same sentence. Speculation, speculating, speculative, speculatory, whatever the word is, agreed. I think it's more of like a speculative play because I feel like it's super, it's super, let's keep watching. I totally forgot.
Pokemon. I have nothing against Pokemon collectors, although a lot of them hate me for whatever reason. I also want to state
I don't hate you, Sean.
That a lot of these individuals really are wearing
risky. That's what I was going to say. I personally think the way that I look at Pokemon, like sealed product, for instance, I know that it typically goes up over time and all those things, but like to as a flipper to park money in sealed product for an extended period of time to make like, I don't know, like if I bought like a $90 box and I sold it at $150 to make a $60 profit or after fees or whatever, probably like $30 profit or whatever on it, that's not great as a flipper because it's probably going to take a year or more for that to happen. So for me, it's just like doesn't really make much sense to park a lot of money into it, and Pokemon does have the potential to ebb and flow, just like everything else. And I feel like that the time investment is not worth it for me personally, but it could be for other people.
Rose-colored glasses, and they do not understand how the antiques and collectibles trade works over the short term, much less the long term. So I want to address this question head on because it keeps popping up from time to time. I know that people are going to accuse me, "Hey, Sean, you're answering the same question over and over again." But I think that this question was worded in such a way that I might be able to bring a new perspective to the answer that I'm going to give so that you guys
Let's go.
see the light and understand what I'm getting at. Of course, some of you out there in Pokemon Kingdom, some of you cannot be saved. I understand that. But
yeah, he does have a Shining Fates Elite Trainer box back there. He also has, I think this is a Pokemon like exclusive version of the 2DS. I see the Pokemon logo on it. So it must be like a Pokemon version of the 2DS there as well. Cool stuff. He does buy like these exclusive versions of consoles. I feel like I've seen him talk about that before. And I think you can grade them too. Can't you grade them with like VGA or something like that? Like the console like exclusive versions?
I am still going to extend the olive branch and try to give you my best help, my best guidance for some of you that think putting all your money in Pokemon cards and related collectibles is a panacea of wealth. It is not. As a matter of fact, for a lot of you, it's going to lead to poverty and disaster in the years to come.
That sounds a little hyperbolic. Poverty and disaster. I mean, that's pretty that's pretty bearish. I mean, that's basically saying that like Pokemon is going to die. It's at some point in the future, Pokemon or card collecting. I think card collecting dies before Pokemon dies. Like the physical cardboard card is probably going to die before the like actual Pokemon franchise dies, if you get what I'm saying. Like there will probably be a point that, I mean, Pokemon cards, as long as the franchise is alive, Pokemon, somebody's going to want a Pokemon card. But I do feel like at some he kind of does. I do feel like at some point there are going to be digital more collectible, like digital versions of this, like digital collectibles. I don't like it at all. I don't want digital collectibles. I like physical collectibles. I like to even still buy physical video games. I hate digital video games. Hate them. But I understand that. I mean, digital's probably the future for a lot of this stuff. So, but do I think it's just going to crash and burn and he's going to be, everyone's going to be broke if they park? And now, you obviously shouldn't put all of your excess money into Pokemon, right? Like, let's say I have $5,000 in savings. The best thing for me to do with that $5,000 is not to buy a bunch of Pokemon, right? If that's what you have in savings. So I agree with him there. You shouldn't take all of your excess funds and park it into collectibles and Pokemon cards and think that you're going to be rich in 20 years. Like, because I don't necessarily think I would agree with that. But I don't think that it's all just going to crash and burn and everyone's going to be broke, you know? So I'm somewhere in the middle of this statement.
Now, before I even read this question, I do want to state Pokemon has a lot of organic collectability. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero. What I am saying is...
That's what you just said!
Especially if you're watching this video and you are in your...
You said crash and burn, we're all going to be broke. That's pretty much zero.
20s, the easiest thing that you can do to build well is to start investing on a monthly basis in some type of well-diversified portfolio, or even just put $100 a month in an S&P 500 index fund, rinse and repeat, keep doing that for 20, 30, 40
Max
years.
out your 401k at work, if you have one.
Have a lot of money, even more money in most cases, than buying Pokemon cards and related pop culture collectibles and attempting to speculate in them or invest in them over the short term or over the long term. So with that being said, I'm going to read you this question and we're going to unpack it together. We're going to go through it. We're going to analyze it. I'm going to give you my honest answers. So here.
Okay, so he was obviously pretty incendiary in the beginning of this, right? With the whole like crash and burn, we're all going to be broke, blah, blah, blah. But the second after the incendiary part, I agree with what he's saying. Like, if someone came to me and asked me, you know, should I buy a bunch of Obsidian Flames with my $1,000 that I have? Should I buy a couple cases? Do you think it's going to be worth a bunch in like 10 years? I'd be like, no, probably not. That's not what I would do with it. Have you maxed out your 401k? You know, have you thought about traditional investments? Like those types of things. Like you should be thinking about those things probably before you go hard into like a speculative investment, you know? So I agree with what he's saying. He just, you know, his language in the beginning was a little incendiary.
Here we go. Hey, Sean, you don't understand. Pokemon collecting will be here for another decade or 2 or 3. That means a long and healthy market with ups and downs, but not collapsing. This specific collecting category is not like any other. Do you see young children running around and trading Pokemon cards? Yes. That's our target group when they grow up in 20 to 30 years, and nostalgia will kick in again. Do you see the same for Pez dispensers, video games, Beanie Babies, or other pop culture collectibles? No. So I'm telling you, Pokemon is different. It will survive.
Well, people don't... I don't like this question because all of the examples that he gave are not things that are popular right now. Like, kids don't collect video games. Kids don't collect Beanie Babies anymore. Kids probably don't even know what a freaking Pez dispenser even is nowadays. They don't even know what VHSs are. So, like, he just rattled off a bunch of collectibles that kids don't even find popular at all right now. They're not collecting right now. So I do think it's different than those things. And I wouldn't say like, oh, instead of Pokemon, you should put all your money in Pez dispensers. But like, I don't think that this person used very good examples to like convey his point. Because kids don't care about those things at all right now. So they're not going to care. Of course, they're not going to care about those things in the future because they don't care about them now.
5. Do you agree that Pokemon is not like any other pop culture collectible when speaking in 20 to 30 year time horizons? Okay, I want to answer this in full. But first, we have to start with this particular statement that really sticks out like some type of sore thumb. This specific
Well, the point is him saying that he thinks that Pokemon is different from any other like collectible. Like, it's different than comics. It's different than, like, I'm trying to think of relevant, like, what do kids collect right now? So, like, there's Pokemon, there's the other TCGs, comics are still collectibles, there's sports, there's different things. So, like, what makes Pokemon, like, unique compared to any of the other collectibles that kids or young people collect right now? I don't know. It's popular right now. I don't understand what point you're saying I'm missing. Am I missing? I don't think I'm missing any point. What do you mean? Do kids collect? I think kids collect Pokemon. Kids collect sports. Kids collect. You just have to go to. You just have to go to any show. There's lots of kids running around with sports cards. There's kids running around with Pokemon cards. There's kids running around with all sorts of stuff. So I think kids do collect things. I don't understand the point that I'm missing. Danny, if you can. Am I missing Sean's point or am I missing the commenter's point? Point of the question. That doesn't help at all. Am I missing Sean's? Okay, so the point of the question. The point of the... Didn't I just state what the point of the question was? Do we have to go back? The questioner is telling Sean that he's wrong because Pokemon is unique compared to any other collectible. And that is why in 20 to 30 year time horizons, Pokemon is going to outlive any of the other collectibles that the commenter or the questioner put in his question. Right? That somehow Pokemon is unique compared to every other collectible in history and going forward, that it's going to survive another 30 years into the future. I think that was the point. We're going to keep going.
Collecting category is not like any other. That is 100% false. I've done tons of videos on this channel proving to you point blank that your favorite collecting category does not exist in a vacuum. So please quit repeating this same mantra over and over. Now, to be fair, the way this question is worded, I don't know if this person is 100% serious. I don't know if he's trolling me. I don't know if he's sarcastic. But what I can tell you is a lot of people in the Pokemon community really believe that their collecting category is not like any other. If we get in my DeLorean time machine and we go back to the late 1980s, early 1990s, there were a lot of collecting categories. You already bring up Pez that were very popular, that people thought 10, 20, 30 years into the future, people are going to be going after Pez dispensers because little Timmy Poindexter Jr. grew up with a Smurf.
Here's one thing that I would say, and I don't know why he's using Pez as an example because I think it's a really bad example. I do think that Pokemon is unique in the fact that it is multi-generational. Like, the newest Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, is the top-selling Pokemon, one of the top-selling games on that system. Like, Pokemon is still incredibly popular, Are the cards incredibly popular with kids? I think so. I think it seems like they're still popular with kids. But like Pokemon as a franchise is multi-generational. You've got 30 and 40-year-olds collecting Pokemon. You've got 20-year-olds and teens collecting Pokemon, and then you have kids right now getting into Pokemon with the new like Nintendo console. So I do think that in a way, you know, I would say that sports is probably multi-generational too, because kids grow up, they play sports, they watch sports, they want to collect their favorite player. But I do think that compared to like Pez and all these other like Beanie Babies and shit, like those are products of a specific time, and then they died. Like they shot up and then they died. This has been 25 years of new generations like getting into it and it being popular. So I do think in some way it's unique compared to what he's talking about. I wouldn't use Pez as an example at all.
A Marvel Comics Pez dispenser.
Marvel's an interesting one.
So
I would say Marvel's multi-generational for sure.
Was how speculative the market was.
The other superhero stuff.
The Netflix documentary entitled "The Pez Outlaw." If you don't believe me, and also what people didn't realize was the fact that Pez was in a massive speculative euphoria, and a lot of collecting markets back then were under that same euphoria, just like what we saw in 2021, 2022 with the pandemic. Well, back in the 1980s, back in the 1990s, collectibles were the hot thing to put your money into. And believe it or
not, Ernie brings up an interesting point. This is equivalent to saying because the Marvel franchise is popular, trading cards will be too. Do you think, just out of curiosity, I'll start the video again here. Do you think that Marvel cards would be popular at all if the Pokemon boom hadn't happened? If the Pokemon boom never happened, do you think Marvel cards would have seen any sort of popularity increase at all? I kind of don't think so.
Not, I don't think this particular individual realizes this. The Pez Company was founded in 1927. The Pez Company is still with us. They're about ready to celebrate their 100th year anniversary. And guess what? The market doesn't even care. Collectors that collect Pez right now are almost dead and buried. It's a baby boom collectible. It's not even popular with people around my age in Generation
Just
X.
like Steins, Dan.
Pez collectors have pretty much moved on from this market. Pez, too, back in the day, had a lot of organic collectability, but the company utilized mass-produced scarcity, much like the Pokemon market is doing right now. You also bring up video games, Beanie Babies, and other pop culture collectibles. So allow me to enlighten you. First, when we talk about video games, you're forgetting one thing. Pokemon itself is based on a video game. Therefore, you can't criticize video games stating that they're not like Pokemon when the subject or favorite collecting category you are positioning your questioning towards, being Pokemon, is based on a video game. So right there, that's where I
don't think that the questioner is... I don't think that's what the questioner is... I think the questioner is saying video games as a collectible category. And I would almost argue that kids... I don't think I've ever heard of a young kid collecting, like, Nintendo 64 games, you know, or, like, 3DS games. Like, that almost seems like another product of the time as well. But yeah, I don't think what the commenter was saying... I think what the commenter was saying was video games as a collecting category. Like, collecting N64 games, collecting NES games, stuff like that. I don't think there's very many kids out there as like a multi-generational thing that are collecting like those older games because they didn't grow up with them. They don't have the connection to them.
I have a little bit of a problem with the way you worded this question.
I love collecting video games.
Have a lot of organic collectability. Are there problems, and were there problems in that market? Yes, we just went through a massive speculative euphoria with video games as well, thanks to a particular trading company that I'm not going to mention that pretty much allegedly manipulated that market to an all-time high. Then when the bottom fell out, they said, oh, we didn't do anything wrong. That was the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters that bidded up those items. Okay. Let's talk about Beanie Babies and other pop culture collectibles. Beanie Babies do not have organic collectability. You're 100% correct in that analysis. But they still utilized, back in the day, mass-produced scarcity. That's what got Beanie Babies propelled to selling at all-time highs, to the point where there was a mass frenzy back in the mid-1990s. I made a lot of money in that market. Believe me, I remember it perfectly, and I've done videos on it. Those of you that recall the whiteboard video I did on Beanie Babies not too long ago.
Yeah.
So where am I going with this? All collecting markets in the modern era utilize something called mass-produced scarcity. The Pokemon Company has upped print runs to a very high amount. Right now, everybody is in hoard mode.
They're printing a lot.
Everybody's in buy mode. Everybody's thinking Pokemon's going to be a great investment 10, 20, 30 years out.
True. And this is one thing that I think about all the time with the people that put a lot of their money into sealed, like modern, like people that buy up like cases and cases and cases of like Scarlet and Violet base, is like, who's going to buy that? Like, it does kind of feel to a certain extent, it's like, it's just investors selling to investors. And at some point, one of those investors is going to like, at some point, one of those investors is just going to lose their ass. Because, like, if Scarlet, I mean, are people going to buy Scarlet and Violet base from anyone if the price goes up to, like, $300? Do you think there's really going to be demand for Scarlet and Violet base at $200? I don't know. Scarlet and Violet base is not necessarily a great set. Like, it's decent. It has some interesting cards, but like, who's actually buying that? Like, are people in the future actually going to want to buy an open Scarlet Violet base for twice the amount of money that it is right now? I don't know. I wouldn't personally. There's no way in hell. But maybe somebody else would. I'm not really sure. It seems to have worked for prior sets, but I feel like a lot of times it's just sealed people buying sealed stuff, not to be open. It's just sealed. And then price goes up, and then they sell to each other again. Then price goes up, and they sell to each other again. And it's like, wait, is there anyone, like, who in their right mind right now is buying a Evolving Skies box at $400 and opening it? A crazy person. A literal crazy person is. There might be, but I would assume it's not very many people. I would assume that people buying Evolving Skies right now are buying it to keep it sealed and holding it. But then how much can that actually go back and forth? And then what utility are those boxes or those cards getting? They're not really getting any. Like, you're not going to open it. At some point, the box is going to be so expensive, there's no way in hell you're going to open it. Why are you buying WotC packs? To open? But they're vintage. They're not, I mean, they are mass produced, but they're vintage. Shut up, Pokemon Wonder. I'm starting this video again.
If you are buying these products and you are attempting to hoard into this market at present time, in my opinion, it is on par with the junk wax era of sports cards that happened in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Are there going to be exceptions to this rule? Absolutely. There's going to be certain Pokemon products that slip.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for content. I'm making like 2 or 3 videos per pack. We're having fun. We're opening stuff. You know, if it wasn't for content, I probably wouldn't be buying these packs.
True, that were not hoarded in mass, or maybe as much as others that are going to sell for a premium in the future. The problem is, how are you going to know which ones are which? Let's be realistic here. You're going to go to the market and you're going to buy them all. The opportunity cost that you are going to encounter by taking that course of action is going to actually put you at a disadvantage where you would do better if you simply did nothing and put the money in an S&P 500 index fund instead. I assure you. Now,
Another thing too that's really interesting is, let's say, you know, do you think a lot of these sealed investors are selling? Or do you, like, what is the goal? That's what I'm curious. Like, do you think that they have a plan? Do you think that they're buying Scarlet and Violet base for $80 a box, and they're like, you know what? Once this box hits X amount of dollars, I'm gonna sell it. And then, but what if it takes like 2 years for that box to hit, $150? I just, like, for me, that just doesn't compute. Like, that's just not a good idea. That's just period. That's just, because then you have to sell it, you have to ship it, you have to find a buyer for it. If it goes up, 2 times in price, how many people are actually going to want to buy it? Like, no. Wait, am I back? Hello? Am I back now? I think I'm back. Am I back? Hello? Can you see me? Somebody help me. Am I here? I feel like I'm here. I don't know if people probably dipped. Hey Java, did you send any rough cut shiny treasure EX singles to PSA? I did. Oh, were they rough cut? I don't know. I'm not sure if they rough cut or not, but I did send some to PSA, yeah, when I first opened those boxes, but I don't know how many of them were actually rough cut. So, I'm back? Okay, cool. I'm back. I invest, and it's incredibly stressful to try and sell stuff greater than $500 you've been holding on to because the buyer pool fell off a cliff. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking is like, how long do you wait for your stock to grow 100%? Well, the thing about that, though, is kind of what Sean's saying in the video, is you put the money in there, and it just does its thing. Like, you don't have to sell it. You don't have to find a buyer. You don't have to worry about, like, the future of the collectible. You don't have to, like, you put in the S&P, and as long as America's still alive, it's probably doing okay, and it just sits in there, and it does its thing. But I just feel like there's so many more variables. Like, if that box goes from 90 to 150, like, kind of like what Ernie's saying, you have to find the buyer for it, and the buyer pool shrinks every time that box goes up in price. Your buyer pool becomes smaller for that particular set. I don't know. To be honest, to be completely honest with you guys, I don't buy sealed product at all. Unless I'm opening it, I don't buy sealed product. So, I could be completely off base, but that's just in my mind how I think about it. In terms of like the work, the buyer pool, all that stuff is, so. But yeah, I could be totally wrong. We are learning together. I had an Ancient Origins booster box 10% under market. It took me about a month across eBay to sell that thing. Yeah, I mean, buyer pools in general, even with slabs and single cards and all that stuff, the more expensive it gets, the less people actually want to buy it. But I feel like I would have to think about this more, whether or not I feel like sealed is more susceptible to that. I feel like some sets in sealed are definitely more susceptible for that. Like I said before, like, who wants to buy Scarlet and Violet base booster boxes for $200? I don't know. I wouldn't want to. There's probably somebody out there, but how many people are there? Like, I don't know. It's food for thought.
Emotional attachment to Pokemon and Pokemon cards in particular. Instead of buying a case of every single set that comes out, just buy one booster box and take the difference and put it in an S&P 500 index fund, and you will be all set. But I know the way that you worded this question, you're not going to listen to me. You're not going to take my advice, because the way this question was worded, you want me to agree with you. So here's the part that I do agree with you with. Pokemon does have a lot of organic collectability, and most likely in 10, 20, 30 years, it will be still collected. But again, you don't know at what price point and what level of demand is going to be made on the marketplace at that time in
true.
relevance of how much supply was hoarded. This is why a lot of you Pokemon collectors
Scoobs,
do
what's
not
up?
understand the long-term trajectory of the antiques and collectibles trade.
Well, I think the meme, right, in Discord or whatever is it goes up because it goes up, right? Like, that's kind of the meme for, like, sealed investing. Well, it just goes up. It just goes up. Like, that tends to be the argument, I feel like. Nobody wants to look at the times where it's dipped. They just say, like, well, in the overall, lifetime of these sets, it's gone up. So, obviously, it goes up. But, like, stocks dip, the S&P dips, I'm sure, at times. Pokemon product dips. Like, other products dip. They're all dips. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you are, quote unquote, investing in Pokemon, you probably would want to hold it for a while, or you'd want to have a specifically planned, like, this is my buy point, this is my sell point, this is how much I'm looking to make. I don't care how long it takes. I work a full-time job. I can't flip all the time. So I'm going to do booster boxes, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to make a little bit of money on the side, and this is how it works for me. If it works for you, it works for you, for sure. I just don't know if anyone's going to be getting rich off of their palette of Scarlet and Violet base in the future. I don't know. Hard to know.
This is why you guys need to go back on this particular channel, Reserved Investments, and start reading all the books that I advise you guys to read about when you need to develop an understanding of collectible finance. You guys are living in a...
I want to read books, man. What was the last book I read? Probably Ready Player One when it came out. I don't even know what year it came out. That might have been a decade ago at this point. Oof. It's going good, Scoops. Thanks for stopping in. I haven't been live in a while. So...
Ponzi dream. And unfortunately, a lot of people that live in Ponzi dreams get taken advantage of by Ponzi schemes. Pokemon is collected and loved by a lot of people.
Oh, I
There's a very
was
strong demographic there.
really hoping he wasn't going to call Pokemon a Ponzi
It
scheme.
is very hard to predict demand for a collecting category, especially a pop culture-based collecting category, 10, 20, 30 years out. Here's one more example before I end this video. Those of you will recall that were alive back in the mid-1990s, Hasbro re-released Star Wars figures into the market under the name of Power of the Force 2 figures. These figures had orange backs, some of them had green backs. And they were launched into the market in 1995, 1996. And a lot of people went into the market and they started hoarding these Star Wars figures under the idea that, hey, everybody loves Star Wars. Star Wars is never going to go to zero. So they kept buying these particular items up.
Yeah.
Today, if you look up the value of those items on the secondary market, 99% of them aren't even worth what you would have paid for those items back in the mid-1990s. And guess what? Star Wars didn't go anywhere. Star Wars didn't drop.
Well, Star Wars definitely went somewhere, Sean. It went from being a great movie franchise to a shit movie franchise to a dumpster movie franchise. Not in the 90s. In the 90s, it became kind of a shit movie franchise. But kids really did like, I feel like, Episode 1. Like, I was all about Episode 1 when I was a kid. And now looking back at it, it's like, yeah, I had Duel of the Fates, and that was good, but the rest is kind of garbage. And the second movie is just hot garbage. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars has been popular forever. Star Wars is one of those weird ones where like 70%, there's like 3 good Star Wars movies, and the rest kind of suck. And it's like, how has this been a thing when like the majority of the movies are kind of meh? It's kind of wild, but Star Wars is a phenomenon. It's pretty crazy. Not liking the new Star Wars movies is your new hottest take? No, I can give you an even hotter take than that, all man. Okay. The Last Jedi is the best of the new Star Wars movies. Moving on. And it's probably better than a couple of the prequels.
In value, go look up the value of the
There's your
original
Star Wars
12
hot take.
packs that came out in 1978 and 1979. They're worth a ton of money in the secondary market right now. So what happened in regards to those figures? Everybody bought them.
Rogue One is
Everybody
really good.
ordered them,
That's true.
and Hasbro utilized mass-produced scarcity to market them. Today we know they were a bad investment. And people like me back in the 1990s, I was in high school back then, guys. I knew to avoid those items. So let this be a lesson to you. The one thing that's constant in the entire antiques and collectibles trade is change. Change and demand are nearly impossible to predict over the long term. Short term, it's very easy. 6 months from now, I guarantee you people will still be collecting comic books, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, Flesh and Blood. There is even some crazy people out there that'll still be collecting MetaZoo.
There it is.
10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, they're going to be collecting those same things at the same level of demand. Remember, for your beloved Pokemon cards to go up in value, you eventually need to find a buyer that is going to pay you more.
That's what we were talking about.
For what you paid for.
Where's
those
the buyer pool going to
particular
be?
Objects at retail. And
True.
also, if you're investing in these items, you have to keep the concept of opportunity cost fresh in your mind. If an S&P 500 index fund gets you 10% per year over the next 20 years, and you're buying Pokemon cards today, holding them and selling them into the market 20 years, you better hope your Pokemon cards return at least 10% per year. And don't forget, with collectibles, you have maintenance, you have storage costs, you have insurance costs. If they need to be graded, you got to pay for third-party grading, you have to pay for insurance, and you have to pay expenses when you go to sell these items.
True that.
This is all expenses
That's all
that
true.
you don't have with a well-diversified financial portfolio. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are a Pokemon collector, no offense, but you either have a Pikachu in your mouth or you got a Charizard up your ass because your rose-colored goggles are bound way too tight. You agree with
Oh, I got a Charizard way up there, man. Way up there. Thank you, Sean. Again, reserved investments, 1 a.m. rant. Please go and like the video if you like the video. I thought it was good. I thought it was fine. There were a couple things like kind of semantic differences, but I think overall I kind of agreed with them for the most part. I do think that Pokemon is more unique than some of the other things that were listed, which I think does kind of safeguard it against some of the other pitfalls of some of the other things that they talked about. But I do like that Pokemon is multi-generational. It's still extremely popular. Cards seem to be very popular with kids at this point still, which is great. And yeah, I do agree with them though. For some of these sets, if they hit a certain price point, like your buyer pool is going to be tiny. So that'd be interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it's all about fundamentals, right? You got to buy into sets that people are going to want in the future. Buy into sets that are hype. All that stuff. 10 years for 100% average. The days of the $90 Vivid Voltage ETB. It will always be a meme on this channel, but I did spend $210 on a Vivid Voltage booster box. Just saying. But stocks are no fun. Making money's fun. I agree, stocks are not fun. That's why I put a lot of money into flipping Pokemon, because flipping Pokemon is fun. But I do max out my 401k. So, you know, I do what I can in one so that I can do what I can in the other. And I'm maximizing my efforts in both places, in my opinion. Gonna need a refund on those gifted subs. Remember when people said that ETBs would be more investable than booster boxes? I bet Java hates Baby Yoda. No. Well, I loved Baby Yoda for the first 2 seasons. And then in the... Honestly, kind of... Small spoiler alert, okay? Small spoiler alert. I feel like they had Baby Yoda reject Luke's offer just to sell more plushies. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense anymore. Like, I understand the bond that they have, but I feel like that rejection of Luke's offer in Book of Boba Fett was literally just so they could sell more plushies of Baby Yoda. And it worked, exactly. So I think his character in season 3, I thought season 3 in general was not good. Or maybe it was season 4. Do they have 4 seasons or season? I don't know. The one where Bo-Katan is like more the Mandalorian than the actual Mandalorian and stuff, I just thought that season was not great. Personally. Had good moments, but I wasn't, not huge on that. 6 seasons in a movie. I don't even know what season we're on at this point. All jokes aside, agree. This extra money, hobby investing, not primary. Yeah, true. I agree. 100%. Let's talk about Rebel Moon. I thought Rebel Moon was kind of bad. Like, it wasn't like, it was fine, but it wasn't like, I can't wait to see the next part. It was just kind of like, meh. It was all right. Like, I feel like, meh, it's all right. I feel like that's the best review I can give Rebel Moon. I thought the visuals, I guess, in Rebel Moon were pretty good. I felt like the story was just kind of whatever. The acting was just kind of whatever. The action was kind of okay at some points, and then at some points it was like really choreographed. Like, you could, whenever you're doing a fight scene and you can tell when people like aren't actually hitting each other, or they're moving like slower than somebody punching somebody would, or they're like preparing for the next like block. You could tell like the actor like puts up their arm like well before the punch is coming in to like do the block, because like that's where it's choreographed. Like, I feel like in some of the action scenes it was kind of like, yeah, this feels very choreographed. Funny how they copied Star Wars. I mean, it Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder wanted to make a Star Wars movie, I think, and then they told him no, and he was like, all right, I guess I'll go make my own Star Wars movie. And then he made Rebel Moon, and Rebel Moon, I guess I'm kind of glad he didn't make a Star Wars movie because I didn't think it was that great. It's fine, but it's not like, I haven't seen A Bug's Life in so long. All I know is the meme, because everyone says that it's Nick, the worm guy. Yeah, that meme. Is that A Bug's Life or is that Ants? See, I get those two mixed up all the time because they came out in like the same year, I feel like, Ants and A Bug's Life. Didn't they come out at the same time? I feel like Ants was a little bit more, wasn't Ants a bit more adult? And A Bug's Life was more like a kid's Disney movie? If I remember correctly. I think that's about right. You don't know what Ants is? Bro. Wasn't it called Ants? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not called Ants. I thought it was called Ants. Hold on. Yes, it was ANTZ. Dang, look at that cast. Christopher Walken, Danny Glover, Sylvester Stallone, Gene Hackman, Sharon Stone, Woody Allen. What the heck? Ants was kind of crazy. It had like... You guys don't remember Ants? I feel like they came out about the same time. I feel like it was a little bit more like adult-ish, maybe. All right, we'll see you later, Pokemon Wonder. Yeah, of course. Thank you very much for stopping by and hanging out. I appreciate it. You have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. Glad you had a good time. Glad it was a fun stream. Yeah, I don't know. Ants was always interesting to me. All right, guys. I appreciate you being here. I feel like we floated around like 15 to 20 people the whole time. That's crazy. Awesome stream. I really appreciate you guys being here. Again, merch. If you guys want a shirt, if you want a mug, we got all the merch, all the good stuff. Right here. You guys can take a look at it if you want. If it interests you at all. If it doesn't, that's totally fine too. But yeah, that's one of the new things. Tomorrow, if I'm feeling up to it, which I'm planning to, but we'll see. I'll let you guys know in the Discord or on Instagram. I will be doing Pokemon Yellow. I'll be starting a playthrough of Pokemon Yellow. I will be naming my Pokemon after people in chat. So if you want to hang out and have fun, that'll probably start around like 8 o'clock. It'll go till whenever. It's Friday night, so who knows how long it will go, but it should be fun. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for making today's stream fun. I hope there wasn't anything offensive or too spicy. I feel like it was a good time. So thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for the gifted subs earlier as well. Ernie, I know you're still here. Maki, if you're still here, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And Ray, thank you very much for buying a t-shirt. I appreciate that. Have a good one. Bye-bye, guys. Later. New video tomorrow at 12:15. It's a what is it? What is it? It's a I spent video. I spent 200,000 yen on Pokemon cards or something like that. It'll come out then. We'll see you later.